Aloha kakahi kako. Welcome to the meeting for the Committee on Investment and Land Management for Wednesday, December 17, 2025. I'm your chairperson, Keone Souza. We have Vice Chair John Wahe IV. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahuna.
Iho.
Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina.
My kako.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Galutari is excused. Chair Kahele. Thank you. Trustee Lindsay. Vice Chair Waihee.
Present.
Chair Souza.
Eo. All right, members, we have quorum. Mahalo. Joining the trustees today, we have interim administrator. We have Kapo Nui, Keishawn Kikina, along with numerous support staff. I'm going to call upon Keishawn to introduce our staff joining us here today. Aloha, Keishawn.
Aloha nui. Aloha kako, mahalo nui, Chair, Vice Chair, and trustees. This morning, our administration team is supported by Investment Director and Interim CFO, Ryan Lee, General Counsel, Everett Ota, Senior Director of Hawaiian Cultural Affairs, Lama Fardin, Interim Director of Land Assets, Lori Walker, Legacy Land Agent, La'akea Rabes, Director of Communication, Bill Brennan, and IT Systems Engineer and Administrator, Kyle Saucier. Mahalo.
Right on, mahalo, Keishawn. All right, this meeting can be viewed via live stream on OHA's website at www.oha.org/livestream and on Olelo. If you'd like to testify on any agenda item during the Zoom meeting, please raise your hand when the item is announced. When called upon, you'll be moved from attendee to panelist and given the ability to turn on your camera and unmute yourself during your testimony. Once you're finished, we ask that you mute your microphone and you'll return to attendee. Public testimony should be limited to matters listed on the meeting agenda, and the meeting will occur prior to any listed items conclusion or vote. If you begin to address other issues not on today's meeting agenda, the ILM chair will call you out of order and direct you to limit your testimony to items listed on the agenda. Testifiers' mics will be unmuted when it is your turn to testify. If you're not audible, you'll be muted and the next testifier will be called. Oral testimony online will be limited to 5 minutes. Your microphone will be automatically muted once you have completed your oral testimony, or if your allotted time for testimony expires. Please log off after testifying, otherwise staff may be forced to remove you. All right, members, our first item of business is approval of minutes from the Committee on Investment and Land Management dated December 3rd, 2025. Anyone signed up to testify? Hello, Chair.
No testifiers.
All right. Chair moves for the approval of minutes for the Committee on Investment and Land Management from December 3rd, 2025. If there are no objections or discussion, Chair would like to move to the vote. Members, any discussion? All right, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Galutari is excused. Chair Kahele.
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay. Vice Chair Waihee. Chair Souza.
Aye. Right on, members. Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, new business. Action item ILM 25-17, approval to negotiate termination of OHA's general lease S-6074 with the Department of Land and Natural Resources at Wailua, Kawaihau, Puna, Kauaʻi. TMK number 44-1-004-021. But first, do we have any testifiers?
Yes, we have 3 testifiers online. I'm going to be moving you over to panelists.
All right, testifiers online, we'll be moving you over to panelists. And I believe we have testifiers in the Kauaʻi, OHA Kauaʻi office. Is that correct?
Yes,
All
that's
right.
correct.
And I believe we have Rowena, Michael, Junior, and Kenna. And we'll be taking the testifiers all separately, right?
Testifier, can you move over to panelists?
Move them over. Okay. First testifier, if you can unmute your microphone and Please state your name for the record. Aloha, can you hear me?
Aloha,
Aloha.
Rowena Ungan.
Aloha, Rowena.
I am the executive director of Ho'omana Thrift Shop in the Wailua area. I'm here along with my husband, Michael Pangan, and Junior Cabrera. We are requesting that OHA will continue our contract with Ho'omana. What do we do on Fridays? We have outreach for the Native Hawaiian people as well as the people in the community. This past Friday, we fed 170 people hot meals, and of them were 85 Native Hawaiians. Along with us at the meals, we have Michael Kaiser. He's our medical doctor licensed by the state of Hawaii. We have Ho'ola Lahui, Amanda Barreto, that does our SNAP program and helps the community to receive medical as well. Pat Kuhn, who is our nurse, who helps with the little bumps and bruises that our people walk in, like with bandages that need to be changed. They also have things that need to be done medically. She is there to help support Michael Kaiser. We have Payao Nishimoto, who is our retired hairstylist, just so that our people feel human. They come in, they have a haircut, and along with that, we have Aloha Diaper Bank that provides Pampers to our infants, as well as diapers for our adults that attend our program. We have dog food that is donated by the Zonta Club of Women's of Hanalei. We also have Food Bank of Hawaii. So the people come and they grab, besides our hot meal that is cooked from my husband, Michael Pangan, we have Food Bank of Hawaii that nearly gives out about 500 pounds a week that we pick up at the different food banks here on Kauaʻi. Church of the Pacific helps with payments. If there's, like, for example, we're gonna make spaghetti and we're short spaghetti sauce, they will help provide the sauce or whatever is needed to complete an entire meal. And Hearts of Worship is with Junior Cabrera. They have their church services on Sunday, and we communally work together. They have 30 members there, and all of whom are Native Hawaiians. I just ask that OHA will continue our lease so that we will continue to be able to reach out to our Native Hawaiian people as well as the people in the community. If we can't stay there, I would ask OHA if you could help me with finding another place. I did ask the community within the last few weeks if Ho'omana was to shut down, what would happen. And a lot of them are telling me they would be hungry. Their babies would have raw butts. Grandma said she wouldn't have clean diapers to use. I just ask that you will continue to hear my plea for our people here on Kauaʻi. We're located in Wailua, which is pretty central here on the island of Kauaʻi. We also had a young gentleman who just was infatuated with Ho'omana, and La'akea received his documents. He got an A+. What he did was he went and did his senior project, Baba Dutimis. He did a senior project on houselessness using Ho'omana as his area, and he got an A+. So I did send all the information. I know it's really a lot of information, but I sent some support letters as well. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you will continue to support Ho'omana. Thank you.
Mahalo, Rowena. Not at this time, Rowena. Is your husband going to testify? Is Michael coming on next?
Yes, he's right here.
Okay. We'll take Michael's testimony. Mahalo.
Hello.
Aloha, Michael.
Yes, this is Michael Hangan. And yeah, I support my wife 100%. And that's basically all I can do. Yeah. But anyways, that's all I have to say.
Mahalo, Michael. Next, we
Okay.
have Junior.
Yes. So I am the pastor of the Church of Hearts of Worship, and I've been at Honolulu for the last 5 years, and very thankful to be there. And I'm also a plumbing contractor. And what I heard was that they needed a septic system to be installed. And being a plumbing contractor, we can actually take care of that part of it. I know that there was a few things that came about when I did look into it with the engineers. The engineers are to be able to put the septic system in. They looked it up and they said that they were under an SMA. So SMA meaning that, whether it's a flood zone, whether you're in wetland zone, it just goes by what zoning you are. So the septic system could be drawn and we could actually put the system in at no charge to be able to do the work. But just depending on what kind of septic system they design. So it can range. I got some quotes from International Wastewater Technologies. The standard system can run you in about 15,000 on an estimate. And then if the request for the aerobic system, it would be approximately about 30,000. And then you have the engineer who would actually draw, which is about 10,000 from 5 to 10 to do the drawing. And then, but they said the process was approximately, it took time to be able to get it through if it's an SMA. And when he looked up the zoning, that it was an SMA location. So you got archaeologist side where, if we end up getting into areas where it was an old burial site. So all of those things would have to be factored in. But basically, I think the amount shouldn't be any higher than, if it was an aerobic system, wouldn't be any higher than 50 to 60,000. If it's a standard system, it's 15,000. So it just depends what was drawn. And I think that's it from me. If there's any questions.
Mahalo, Junior. Next, we have Kenna.
I'll get one more.
The office, she's on Zoom.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move her over on our end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha, Kenna. Can you hear me?
You on? Okay, great.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Aloha. Now I'm a panelist. Perfect. Okay. Everyone's working, but can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
And hopefully my camera. But not that I'm. Okay, great. Aloha.
Aloha.
So I'm the board president for Ho'omana, and what I can say is we have worked really hard to get Rowena well positioned for some county and federal level grants because of the important work she does for our houseless community. And we submitted one fairly recently for CDBG funds. We're looking at a GIA grant in January. And so if there was opportunity for us to get Ho'omana into compliance with their septic needs, then I believe that we could get the grant funds to pay for the systems that Julia was talking about. Because there are some funding opportunities for things like improvements on the property. If that's not an option, then the other thing would be to extend the lease as much as possible for us to then find another location. Because the reality is Ho'omana is doing very unique work on Kauaʻi, and there really aren't too many other organizations that are supporting Native Hawaiians and also the houseless population in the way that Auntie Rowena is. So it would be a tremendous loss to the island of Kauaʻi, and I think the Native Hawaiian community for Rowena to not be able to continue providing services. Yeah, and so that's the main thing, is that we would like to figure out a way forward.
Mahalo, Kena. Thank you so much. I think we have one more testifier, is that right? And that's it. All right. If there are no further testifiers, public testimony on this item has ended. At this time, Chair recognizes Lori Walker, Interim Land Director, to come to the table. Aloha, Lori.
Good morning. Aloha kakahiaka kako. Mahalo, Chair and Vice Chair of this committee. Aloha kakahiaka kako. Mahalo for giving us this time to present our action item today. If you'll remember, we came before this committee in July of this year to present an informational briefing on Ho'omana, and shared about the priority project that we had for this year, that was to convert the cesspool at this location. I'll give an overview of the acquisition history of this property and how we arrived at today's recommendation. In 2014, the Board of Trustees, OHA Board of Trustees, voted to execute a 65-year gratis lease with the DLNR and a 10-year sublease at no cost with Ho'omana. At that time, the EPA determined the cesspools on property weren't large capacity cesspools, which then meant this property was exempt from having to comply with this EPA requirement. Ho'omana has since, for nearly 10 years, provided critical services to the community, as you heard just previously, which we are absolutely in support of and we have deep gratitude for. And we also are endeavoring at this, currently endeavoring to support relocation of. I also want to take a moment now to mahalo Rowena and Michael for coming today and also dedicating their lives to their community and our beneficiaries. Your hard work does not go unnoticed or unacknowledged. Fast forward to 2023, the EPA mandated DLNR to perform a compliance audit on all of their properties. Because they actually failed to meet a deadline to convert all of the large capacity cesspools on their property, on all of their properties. The compliance audit that DLNR then ensued, or that ensued thereafter, found that the large capacity cesspool at this property, at the Ho'omana property, in fact, is a large capacity cesspool. So at this time, EPA changed its determination from it wasn't a large capacity cesspool to now it is a large capacity cesspool, and that's because of the use and the potential capacity that it would meet. The specs of the cesspool itself are not, but the operations that are occurring at the property make a potential for it to be a large capacity cesspool. So now there are compliance requirements that DLNR is mandated to meet, and by virtue of our lease, OHA is mandated to meet, and essentially by virtue of the sublease that we have with Ho'omana, they are mandated to meet. And so In February 2024, DLNR gave OHA a new deadline to convert the cesspools, which is January 2027. And immediately after we were notified, we began due diligence. We initiated a solicitation for quotes for design services. We had spoken previously to DLNR, who told us at other properties it costed $15,000, and we budgeted for it. This board approved it, and when we spoke to vendors, the nuance of the nature of this property, it's in a special management area. It's at sea level rise. There are known EV in that area. The quote that we received, or the quotes that we received, were in excess of $200,000 just for the design, and that doesn't include installation. So there's a lot more involvement because of the ground disturbance, and this isn't uncommon with what we've been seeing on Kauaʻi for cesspool conversion requirements. And so because of these obstacles, we started to explore more cost-effective alternatives. We've had discussions with DLNR and Department of Health, and the alternatives that we came up with were determined unacceptable, and any ones that maybe were being considered aren't guaranteed to meet the compliance requirements. Those conversations have been happening. In November, just last month, DLNR informed us that any fines that are issued by the EPA would be transferred to OHA. And that is the reason for the urgency of our recommendation today, because they also shared that previous fines were in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's $25,000 per infraction per day. And so, yeah, and so given the legal and financial risk, most immediately but not exclusively regarding this EPA compliance issue, the recommended course of action is to authorize administration to negotiate termination of our ground lease with DLNR. In the event that the lease is terminated, DLNR has indicated that they have plans to immediately transfer the property to the county of Kauaʻi, who would likely not continue to keep the operations currently on the property. And termination of the lease would essentially terminate the sublease, as you know. And so it is, again, as I mentioned, our team's intention to continue supporting the work that Ho'omana is doing through identifying relocation alternatives and any resources that can support continuation of their work and services to our beneficiaries. Any questions at this time?
Members, any questions? Trustee Huna.
You know, if we're to help them find a new lease, can we get DLNR and the county to weigh in on all of this too and help them find a lease? Or?
Yeah, I think in the case of relocating, everything is on the table. We've already done a quick market survey with our commercial property agent to see what commercial buildings are available on Kauaʻi in Wailua. So that's kind of where we're starting. But as far as who can be involved in those discussions, there's no really limit to it. There might be another deal in our property that's less riddled with issues, but it does open up a lot of opportunity for a new location would open up a lot of opportunity and discussions, whereas this location, even if we resolved the EPA compliance issue, there are other issues that can come up in the future, but also even just the condition of the building, we would want to make sure that's compliant.
So just one last question. So just to make sure, this is a SMA, so it's under special management area. So would we even, is is there a chance of us not even getting a permit to, because of the area, or?
We
or
would have to
could get
have
an
those.
area?
I don't think they wouldn't, they would deny a permit, but it might require more of the design for the cesspool
So
conversion.
that could cost a lot more too.
Potentially, yes.
Okay, and then, this lease is up when, again, last,
The sublease or
this,
our ground lease is a 65-year lease that started in 2014. So
but the permitting is coming up for the septic.
the conversion deadline is January 2027. So we would have just over a year to get all of that resolved.
Oh, I can see why, but we gotta make a decision. Okay, thank you.
Mahalo, Trustee Ohuna. Chair Kaile.
So, Chair, thank you, Laurie. How much does the tenant currently pay OHA to lease?
It's a no-cost
Gratis.
lease.
No lease. How much do we pay DLNR?
It's a gratis
Gratis.
lease, yes.
Oh, sorry, it's quoting. There are, I guess the next question would be, we've spent money, or have we spent money on, I recall something coming across my desk, and I'm sure Chair Emeritus' desk previously, in terms of consultants that have done survey work and wastewater work on this. Can you speak to that? In terms of how much we've already invested and what the results of that work were?
I think originally there was due diligence done on the property that did actually find concerns with the property. I can't speak to how much was spent on the due diligence, but since the execution of the lease and sublease, it's really been the sublessee managing the property, and a minimal kind of an agent flies to Kauaʻi once a year to make sure that the property, or to just monitor the condition that the property was in. But the terms of the sublease pretty clearly put the responsibility on the sublessee.
But
So
did OHA contract with a site engineering firm, a wastewater
Recently.
firm recently, right? To
yeah,
do a
we
comprehensive
put in an RFP
wastewater report?
to get, or there was a solicitation that we initiated to get quotes
Firm,
and
yes, okay.
design basically, where we originally were told by DLNR that the design shouldn't cost more than $15,000. We budgeted for that, and then we were told, because of the nuance of the property, that it actually would be in excess of $200,000, the design itself. And so it really is a question of, does this board want to invest in a property that isn't ours in title, or can we explore other options to support this programming?
Has there been any discussions with the land division, the DLNR, about working together with OHA on this particular parcel? Like, if it wasn't OHA's parcel, they would have to address this.
Yeah.
If we invested the money in the conversion from a large capacity cesspool to something that meets the EPA's and Safe Water Drinking Act requirements, would DLNR consider transferring the property to OHA in fee?
Yeah, that's something we haven't considered, but I do think they actually would be open to that, given if we terminate and avoid fines, it would go back on them. And their intention, if we terminate, is to transfer immediately to Kauaʻi County.
To the County of Kauaʻi.
Yeah.
And looking at the Public Land Trust information site, most of the properties that surround this property are all fee simple, owned by private individuals or trusts, and are rented out to boating operations or whatnot. I'm assuming they don't have large capacity issues, but the Mauka property is a larger DLNR property that has the boat ramp there. So this property sits on the adjacent, or the next TMK Mauka is a bigger property that has the DLNR boat ramp. So you think they would transfer this to the County of Kauaʻi to
The Malco property or this?
This property.
Oh yeah, they've already expressed that that's their intention. But I mean, I'm not in the conversations that they're having with the county, and so anything could happen there, I guess.
I mean, this is according to the deal on our website, this is a 5B parcel. So this is a public land trust parcel.
Yep.
That OHA, and Native Hawaiian beneficiaries are legally entitled to trust proceeds from. So that would be another issue to consider. I don't know, I'd be interested to know if we put the money in, would they give us the property?
We can, and that can be part of the negotiation process that we have with them. And in that case, a lease termination would occur anyway.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Chair.
Absolutely. Malo Chair Kahele. Trustee Aquino.
I just want to share with Chair that at one time we were considering.
Chair Merida.
What?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh.
No, yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. You go. Because you can. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, he can wait.
Yeah.
Lean towards the age. So I just wanted to share with Chair that at one time we were considering taking over the entire park behind Ho'omana, and that is a possibility, right? Including the boat ramp. So it's kind of still in limbo because they did end certain leases along the embankment of the river. So I just wanted to add that to your thoughts because I did think if we could savor Ho'omana, I have the highest respect for all the work that Rowena and her gang did for the people of Kauaʻi and especially our Hawaiians. So if we could do something to save them, either relocate them in a property that's way better for them or improve what we need to improve to bring them to compliance. Thank you.
Malo Chair Merida. Trustee Aquino.
Thank you. My thoughts are along the same lines as the last two speakers. It would be great to take a look at what the value proposition would be for OHA to retain possession of the property, what uses could emerge in addition to helping Ho'omana continue its mission. But putting that aside, have you explored what the incentive is for the DLNR to terminate the lease and as well Kauaʻi potentially to assume the costs of conversion?
To clarify, what is DLNR's incentive for?
Would there be anyone for them to terminate the lease and assume the cost of conversion? Or would Kauaʻi have such an incentive?
I think we didn't ask about the details of what Kauaʻi County would do with the property, but I think the incentive is that whatever fines we would avoid by terminating our lease would then be the responsibility of DLNR. And this is just one property that they're having to address this same issue on. And so you can imagine they have already been issued fines for other properties, and I think it's in their best interest to transfer the land out of their portfolio.
Malo Trustee Aquino. Trustee Akaka.
I recall when we were on Kauaʻi some years ago, we had done site visits. Trustee Huna, you and your team had took us to along the riverside and to the store there, and I recall that it was shared that there was frequent flooding, and that to the point where they had to clear the interior and the clothing and so forth, and that had to be taken to the laundromat and washed and so forth. And when I was looking at the lay of the land, I saw that it was in a dip. And so when I had asked is it possible to raise it or something to that effect? And it did seem as if that was too daunting to even approach. Has there been any land survey if that would make sense closer to current day versus those years ago when we had visited?
Yeah, we haven't done a more recent survey. That would be a pretty cost prohibitive solution to backfill, but because of the highway in front of it is raised and they have experienced a lot of flooding on the property, and so in addition to all of the important work that they're doing, they've also encountered those major obstacles.
I would have to imagine currently right now, the inclement weather that we're experiencing.
Yeah, there was a recent flood, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, that they've been able to overcome, but they did have to do all of those remediative efforts.
And is that the case as well for the park area, more Mauka of it?
Actually,
more up above land?
I think there actually is drainage just Mauka of this parcel that maybe protects the parcel above it, but I'm not even sure. They might experience it as the flooding as well, but yeah, we haven't monitored that property to know.
So in all likelihood, it would make sense that the county of Kauaʻi might raise the building, or not lift raise, but just take it down, and then see what makes sense going forward.
Potentially, yeah, and just leave it open land.
Do you know if there have been any other transfers by DLNR to the county of Kauaʻi of this nature and for the same reasons?
I don't know. Potentially, I haven't looked into it.
Because I have to imagine that for the county, they're also going to have to do their own due diligence and ponderings as we are, if it makes sense to take on that kuleana. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Trustee Akaka. Members, if there's no other questions? All right, seeing none. Mahalo, Laurie. Thank you so much. All right, at this time, the chair motions to approve action item ILM 25-17, approval to negotiate termination of OHA's general lease S6074 with the Department of Land and Natural Resources at Wailua, Kawaihau, Puna, Kauaʻi. TMK number 44-1-004021. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahuna?
We are helping them, trying to help them find another place, right?
Yes, that is currently.
Oh,
yes.
okay, yeah, she said, yeah.
Sir.
Okay, yes, thank
Yes.
you. Yes.
Thank you.
Trustee Ahuna? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Trustee Akaka?
Aye.
Trustee Akina?
Aye.
Trustee Alapa? Trustee Galataри is excused. Chair Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay? Vice Chair Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Souza?
Aye. All right, all members, mahalo, motion passes. Thank you, Laurie, and I look forward to our continued work with Ho'omana and in the future as well. And thank you, Ho'omana, to everything you guys do and continue to do, and we look forward to supporting you. Okay, and now we'll move on to the final item on our agenda, adjournment. Is there a motion? Any discussion? Can I get a motion? Roll call vote, please. Any testifiers? Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Ahuna?
Aye.
Trustee Akaka?
Aye.
Trustee Akina?
Aye.
Trustee Alapa? Trustee Galatari is excused. Chair Kahele?
Aye.
Trustee Lindsay? Vice Chair Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Souza?